Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
We are living in turbulent times. Is it ever appropriate to be fearful? Well, we've seen that we need to have a wholesome respect for danger. We most certainly need to have a proper reverential fear for God. But now listen to me closely. Fear is a good counselor, but fear can be a ruthless jailer. And we need not let fear shackle us and paralyze us and keep us from serving God and trying our very best to build up the kingdom of God. Back in Matthew chapter 10, Jesus is sending out the 12 to preach the gospel of the kingdom. And notice what he says beginning at verse number 26. Therefore do not fear them, for there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. Whatever I tell you in the dark, speak in the light, and whatever you hear in the ear, preach on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not two sparrows sold for a copper coin? And not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore, for you are of more value than many sparrows. Here's the reality. We have a God who is providentially looking out for us. Matthew chapter 6, verse number 33 is a rather interesting verse. He talks in that passage there is the classic text on worry and the fact that the child of God does not need to worry. And he sums it up by saying, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Now that's number one in my life. I'm going to be thrilled when I see the kingdom advancing. But what if my income's cut, Bill? Well, is the kingdom advancing? Now listen, I'll be honest, I'm a little concerned about income. Gas prices are going up. What about World War III? All those things. But is the kingdom advancing? You see, you can't shackle someone who wants to spread the gospel. You just look at the Apostle Paul. While he was a prisoner, he was spreading the gospel across the world. Isn't that an amazing thing? And the providential care of God is involved in spreading the gospel. Now, if my number one aim is the kingdom of God, and God's number one aim is the kingdom of God because God's about redemption, and that's how we get redemption to the world, is by spreading the gospel of the kingdom, then I'm going to be thrilled. I'm going to be thrilled with those opportunities. I want you to think about these things, and I challenge you to be a person of courage and valor.